name is Jasleen Kaur. So I am working with the Cosmos Academy, as well as now I have started my online coaching, as you know, all because of this COVID situation. The government has given some guidelines, and we are not open yet. We didn't open our institute yet in order to have a safety for all of you. So that's the reason I'm giving you a live lecture here, so that you can get a benefit while sitting at home. Okay, so moving further. So this is today's task. I believe that most of you already knew this task, because this is very, very common. So this was in April exam, and I'm sure most of you are very well aware of this task, right? So okay, so I can see that there are so many people, so I'm waiting for you guys to text me. You can text me here. Okay, and yeah, I can see Anna, Ashwati, Chinu, Litisha, Ravi, Reena, Tina, John, and many more. So welcome to this live session. And I'm Jasleen Kaur, I'm your host, and I'm gonna give you training on this task, that how we can write this task in a better way. But before that, I would like to know from any of you have texted your letters. As we, in a previous session, we worked on assessment criteria, right? And so that assessment criteria, so as I said earlier, so the first one, the most important, is the purpose, right? So looking at this task, which starts with Miss Olivia Hawthorne is a patient at your practice where you are a nurse. She has come to have her entire uterine device removed. Yes, so very well clear. Morning, Aswati, I got your message. Thank you. And now, since this task is in front of you, you all can see the screen. Is a patient, so you can take an always assume yourself first when you read it. So when you open, when the task is in your hand, as you know, you have only 5 minutes to read the task. You know, always take extra 5 minutes. I mean to say that you need to spend at least 10 minutes in order to understand your letter before you write. Otherwise, sometimes you write, and when you are middle in the letter, you realize, this is in a different way, then you erase and write again, or you cut it, you don't get any extra paper. Remember that happened with one of my student. She was in the mid of her letter, and suddenly she realized that she is writing in a wrong way. So she cut that and she was writing again. Instead of erasing, she just crossed that it is wrong, but she didn't get any extra paper. You will not get, so remember that. So you have only the sheet on which you have to write. So instead of wasting that erasing and cutting time, it is better you plan your letter in a way, so that in such a way that you can write it in a good way. Okay, so first of all, always read the first line, that Miss Olivia Hawthorne is a patient at your clinic where you are a nurse. And so what is the current problem? That she has come to remove her IUD, right? Now, since we can see that, now this is the first thing. So I'm taking you to the last page. Okay, so this last page says that yeah, just read the latest one. If I see that there are so many dates in the, why I have chosen this letter, because I feel this is a perfect example to understand and to clear your doubts, that in case if you have so many dates, and the patient has the same problem, and that was in the previous, because in the last session I've seen that so many queries were there regarding this. As I told you, never ever start with the past medical history. Now in this letter it shows that the 6/4/19, this is when the patient problem started, on a 6/4. So if you go back on the first page, which says treatment record, this 16/4/2007. Yeah, 16/4/2007. And now then again April 9, then April 11, then 9/12, 6/13, 4/16, the same problem continued, and then it is 6/4/19, right? So what is the current problem? It's a removal of IUD was unsuccessful. Attempt for 15 minutes, unable to locate string. Patient can't recall last time strings located. So pregnancy test administered negative. So query, the question mark is IUD shifted or fallen out, and referred to the OB-GYN for further investigation plus ultrasound. Now very clear. So the writing task, using the information given in the case notes, write a letter of referral to Dr. Shah, consultant for further investigation, of course, as a specialist. Address the letter to Dr. Shah, Miriam Shah, consultant at Royal Hospital or Town. All right. Now, there are a few things that you need to keep in your mind. The first question which should be in your mind when you read in this 5 minutes, and after that, who am I? Okay, now that was clearly given that you are a nurse. So it was given in the letter here that Miss Olivia Hawthorne is a patient at your practice where you are a nurse. So who am I? I'm a nurse in the clinic. Okay, so now second question should be to whom I'm writing. Now that's very clearly given here that you are writing to a doctor, of course a gynae doctor specialist. So keep that in mind that you're writing to a doctor. So, and you need to give all that history, that what happened previously and now, and why it was suggested to remove IUD, right? And so you need to go through the task in general. And before that, I would like to know that, the first thing I would like to know from you guys, so what is the purpose here? So why I'm writing this letter to Dr. Shah? Now that's very important. So I'm giving you 2 minutes here, and so that you guys can, so that you guys can see and think, and then you can text me. All right, so okay, so you have 2 minutes. Think that what could be the purpose? Okay. Okay, so yes, Ravi said for further investigation and ultrasound. Okay, anyone else? Yes, anyone else? Quickly. Yes, Letitia, for further investigations, including ultrasound, and she suspected to have fallen IUD. Okay. Right. Yeah, so very clear, true. Yeah, she requires further investigation, ultrasound, and we also need to mention the reason that why she needs ultrasound, that's also very important to mention. So because you were suspecting maybe her IUD has fallen, or it is shifted. Yes. So this is the main purpose. So this is what I told you. Yes, Tina, further investigations includes ultrasound and management. Yes, of course, she requires further management as well. Yes, good. So of course, this is the main purpose that you are looking for. That yes, this is main thing. So we can also write in a way like, I'm writing to refer Ms. Hawthorne, who requires further investigations, to find out the location of an intrauterine device as it is suspected to be displaced or fallen out. So it could be anything. It could be, as they have mentioned, shifted when displaced or fallen out, right? So, and you are, this person or this patient require further investigation. So very simple way to write that I'm writing. So yeah, I'm typing here for you so that you guys can see. I'm writing to refer. Yes, Ravi raised hand. Yes, Ravi, you can text your query. Yes, Ravi, you have any query, so you can raise your hand. Okay, so yes, as I said, you guys can write, I can write it like I'm writing to refer Mrs. Hawthorne, okay, who requires further, okay, so yes, further investigations. Yes, further investigations to find out the location of an IUD. So, Tina, yes, and we use as a connector. Yes, so it is like I'm writing to refer Ms. Hawthorne, who requires further investigations. Okay, I've written further 2 times, so requires further investigations to find the location of an IUD. It's better you write a full form, so intrauterine device, as it is suspected to be displaced or fallen out. Okay, so this is the purpose. So this is one of the way, again, so you can write in many ways. So, so as you guys have written here, so this all are right. So this is the main purpose, yes. So what you guys have written is also right. Okay. Now, second criteria. Now, this is the first. So that you have mentioned in the introduction. So remember, there are 2, 3 things that you need to mention in introduction. Of course, the first is the purpose, that why you are writing this letter. Along with that, you need to mention that why, what happened. I mean, why you are referring this question, as you have written for why ultrasound, but why ultrasound? Because we're suspecting that IUD has fallen or displaced. So that's the reason that you need to mention along with that. Okay. And in case if the patient in the task, the patient is admitted or discharged, then you can mention about discharge plan as well, that he's being discharged today, tomorrow. Not in this case, but in other tasks, if the discharge is mentioned. All right. So of course, now these 3 marks are secured by you. So this is fine. So now we can move to the next criteria, which is, yeah, so what is the next criteria? Yes, content. As I said, the content. Yes, second main is the content. So what you have to do in content. So for that, you need to read the whole letter now. Okay, so I can read it from Chinu. I write to refer. I think this is again a big question by some students, that which one is better? I am writing to refer, I write to refer. If I see, from a grammar point of view, then they both are right. You're writing in a simple present, I write to refer, or a present continuous, I'm writing to refer. So both are correct. But yes, when because you're writing the letter now, so even if you start with which one is better, if somebody asks me, there's not much different, but yes, it looks better to write in present continuous that I'm writing to refer is a better way to write it. So, but yes, even if you're writing I write to refer could not be wrong, but the more impressive is I'm writing to refer. Okay, who is suspected to have shifted or fallen out? Who is suspected to have shifted or fallen out intrauterine device requires further investigation and ultrasound at your facility. Okay, so Chinu, yes, I would say that this is okay. Yes, this is fine. So I think in the group, I can see the Letitia, you have shared your letter. So it would be great. So I think I have just corrected. So I will show your letter to you as well. So this is the main thing. All right, so now everybody is clear about the purpose, so we will move to the content. Now for the content, now as I said, you first read the first line and then the last writing task, and then you move to the, read the whole task. You have to start with the patient details that now name is given. Now here is the second thing which you need to select now what is required or what is not. So you can tick and cross what is not required, you just cross it. So name Olivia, of course, date of birth, she is 40 years old, all right, address is given. Okay, social background, is she is married, all right, this all, da, da, da. Now keep in mind, do I need a social background for especially a specialist, a doctor, a gynae? So swim 3 weeks, 3 times in a week, non-smoker, social drinker, vegan diet. I really don't think so. It is important. So yes, so what do you think? So because you're writing to a doctor, and especially when the IUD is removed. So it is married, of course, you need to tell active yoga, lifestyle, non-smoker, it's not that important to mention. So I will put it across. And then family history, father Parkinson's disease, Parkinson's, and right, his current problem is the IUD. Again, I will put across here. Now you need to keep in mind, always keep in mind to whom I'm writing. I'm writing to the gynae, so I need to write a problems related to that, okay? So medical history, G3P2, all right, 2007, proximal DVT, while long hours in stressful office, lots of air travel. So do I need this information? Proximal DVT with IUD. So I will put a cross here. Iron deficiency anemia. So this she proximal DVT, she doesn't have now. She had it in 2007, so it's not important. So iron deficiency anemia, I would check this, okay? I'll tell you why, because further when you will read the task, it is written that she takes a tablet for this. So that means she's still takes, so we need to write, okay? So 2009, menorrhagia and dysmenorrhea, yes. 2012, third degree perineal tear, probably no. 2014, elective C-section, okay? So maybe I will consider or not. So I will put a dot here. So medication on warfarin ceased in 2008, so not important because it is already stopped in 2008. Ferrous sulfate, 200 mg per domain. Yes, that's what I was saying. Now this ferrous sulfate is for anemia. So that's a reason I need to mention about anemia, because she is taking ferrous sulfate since 2008, right? So this is important to add on. All right, reason for presenting. Now that's very important. That's a current problem. Removal of IUD is currently ineffective for menorrhagia and dysmenorrhea. Now this is the current problem.
Ma'am, please unmute your voice so we can able to hear you.
Thank you. So, okay, I believe now it's clear. I'm audible. Okay. All right. So I just covered this part till now, and thanks for reminding it to unmute. And yes, just 2007 to 2007 DVT I don't require. So 2009 to 15 is all is relevant for the gynec. So I need all this information, of course, 2018 information, 19, and the current problem. So I'm giving you guys 2 minutes to text me that. No, yeah. So I think in between there's some connection problem. So yes, I'm back with that. So all right. So I showed you I gave you the time so that you guys can think that what is the content, what you're going to write in the content. Okay, so you guys can text me. Yes. So yes, we will write, as I said, we will write the current problem. I can see that some of you have messaged, and yes, it is right to yeah, I can see that yes, the current problem is about the current problem, which we can, as I showed you, that the current problem is the IUD removal. So of course, we will not start with the first paragraph with the problem of 2007. Okay, so keep that in mind. So we will start with not with even 2009, because I have to mention to the doctor, if I will start now, I've seen some of your letters, that some of students, they have started with 2009 history because the history starts from 2009. Now, if I think I will start from first paragraph from the current problem, maybe, it doesn't link so well. But keep in mind that I have to write in content, I have to explain my purpose. So if I start from 2009, that doesn't explain my purpose, that why she requires ultrasound now. So my current problem is that her IUD has displaced, so I need to tell that today. So that means I will start with 2019 problem. Okay, so I will start from 2nd for 2019. That it's written menstrual spotting, 3 months experiencing menorrhagia and dysmenorrhea, and hairness, greasiness of skin. So how you're going to make a text for this? Can you text me? Yes? I can see the people are responding on a WhatsApp as well. And okay, yes. All right, very good. So we can start this content with Ms. Hawthorne presented to our facility on 2nd for 2019. Of course, we need to start with that, with the complaints of menstrual spotting for the past 3 months. Now, menstrual spotting equals to 3 months means with the complaints of menstrual spotting for the past 3 months, along with menorrhagia and dysmenorrhea. She also has increased hairness and greasiness of skin. Yes. And she was advised to remove intrauterine device. Very good. So this is how we need to write. I mean, that's her current problem. That this was done, and she was and because her problem was. Yes, so I can see some messages, the people, those who have texted me. Um, all right, so, okay. Yes, you guys are quite close to that. So I'm going to show you now the exact sample for that, how it has to be written, okay? So of course the purpose would be, as I said clearly, that who requires further investigation for this. Now the content is very clear. I'm explaining my purpose in the first paragraph. So I will write the current problem, that her problem started in 2019 and now it has increased, and that's why she was advised to remove IUD. Now, today she visited our clinic and we failed to, as unable to trace the string of IUD. So that's, and we are giving additional information which is important for the gynae. So we will also add that please note her pregnancy test was negative. There's no pregnancy. So now in the last paragraph now here we will write the past medical history. Because second paragraph, as I told you, the secondary information we need to tell as she required further IUD, so we mentioned that. And this is the past medical history, which we will write in the last paragraph, that and the social history that she lives with the two sons. She had history of dysmenorrhea and menorrhagia since 2009. She was treated with this medication. In between, this medication was stopped. So in 2011 and 13 in order to conceive children in that year. So further, she was inserted with intrauterine device Marina coil on April 2015. And she takes, now this is very important. If now keep in mind the simple present tense that we're to use. So whenever a patient is taking some medication, though the patient is taking that 2008, now some of us think to write, she has been taking folic acid ferrous sulfate since 2009. Now that sentence would not be wrong. Okay, but if we check on an English proficiency, then yes, there's something which I do on a daily basis. Okay, now she takes this medicine on a daily basis, something which a medicine which I take on a daily basis. So we always use simple present tense for that, so keep in mind. So unnecessarily no need to use here the perfect continuous tense, has been taking this medicine. Now we don't need that. So keep in mind anything which patient does on a daily basis. He does exercise, he takes some medicine. So you can simply use simple present tense, that she takes folic acid or ferrous sulfate for anemia. Okay, so keep in mind what kind of tenses you have to use here. So if you will see in this letter, it's very rare that I've used any connecting word anywhere. Very simple letter. And at the last, of course, you need to give that you have to give a special request that it would be greatly appreciated if you could do further investigation, possibly an ultrasound to scan to locate the position of the device and manage as you feel appropriate. Now, keep in mind your introduction and your last paragraph where you are giving a request again, you are requesting again. So that should be similar. Now, similar doesn't mean that you will write the same, words in the same sentence. Now, meaning should be same. So don't, at the end, from the starting, you're saying something else. And in the end, if you will say something that would be wrong. Okay. So keep in mind, since starting off the letter, my motto is to tell the doctor that she require an ultrasound and your management is required. So same thing I will write it at the end in the request, in the final request, but in a different way. I will use different type of sentence and to show the examiner that you have ability to write in a other way as well. Okay, but yes, the meaning of your introduction and the last paragraph should be same. Okay, now there are certain words which if you have seen OET video, they say that do not use a word like suffering, and some more words like moreover, even though. So there are certain words which they feel it is not for the official language. So you need to be very strict with whatever they say. You must follow that. And yes, and keep in mind the tenses which you have to use. Sometime, anything which is given like that, the patient has something in the past and he is still suffering or still has that problem, then in that case you can use the present perfect tense. For example, patient has been taking medicine for this since 2009. But yes, if he takes that on a regular basis, on a daily basis, then you can use a simple sentence. Let's say there are 2-3 medication, then you show to the examiner that you know a different kind of a sentences to write it. So you can write that in simple present tense, you can write in the perfect continuous tense, and in the past perfect, something in the past and still has. So patient has had. Now here this had is a verb, okay? So don't get confused with the perfect tense. So it is like a verb. She has had diabetes or hypertension since 2009. So these are a different 2-3 types of tenses which you can use in, especially for to describe the diagnosis, any medical problems, and especially the medications. Okay. Now, some of you, now this is one of the way you can write in a different way. Now, let's say she had a history of dysmenorrhea. She was in a pain, a history of this, and she was treated with. Now, this is one thing for which she was treated. This is again a complex sentence for which she was treated. I've almost explained about this last, and in that how to conclude it further, that's very important. However, you should not deviate from the meaning, what you want, the message you want to give to the person. So remember, whatever the meaning of your introduction and your final request, that should be same. Okay, so so in view of the above, it would be greatly appreciated if you could do further investigation, possibly an ultrasound scan, to locate the position of the device and manage as you feel appropriate. Yes, it is right, as it is text me by some of you. So yes, that's the right way. So what you need to keep in mind, only first most important thing, as I said, your introduction and first para is the face of your letter. So it should be very clear, and examiner should understood that what you're trying to say. So keep that in mind, that never ever start with the past medical history, even though the problem starts with that the example you have seen in this letter. So when you know that that's a current issue, that but current problem is not the patient come today not because of menorrhagia or dysmenorrhea. The patient she came for removal of IUD, and we were not able to remove that, and that's the reason you are referring this patient to the doctor. So in that way, it's just that you need to keep in mind, and keep in mind that, okay, so this is my current problem. So however, I have the letters, I have received a number of letters in Telegram and here as well. The way you guys are texting it, like you start with since 2009, she has this problem now. So she has this problem since 2009, but that is not the current problem. Current problem is only the IUD, and she requires ultrasound. So that you need to mention in the first paragraph. Okay, so other things are not that much relevant here. So you can simply delete that information, like the irrelevant information, just to make you more confused. You might be thinking, okay, this DVT could be, and I mean, she's at a risk, and she already had menorrhagia. So, but no need to think, because you are writing to the gynec, right? So you know that what the gynae doctor needs to know. So yes, you can mention she lives with the 2 sons. That's important to mention that she already has 2 children, right? You need to give that information to the doctor. So this is how you need to keep in mind. Now, do not use much connecting words. Much you use, but not that much. Okay. And other thing which you need to keep in mind, the use of sentences. Now, this is what I will focus on in my last session, which will be on Thursday. So in which I will discuss more about the common mistakes done by students while writing a letter, and how to correct that, and what kind of tenses, sentences we need to use so that you guys can keep in mind. So wait for that explanation till Thursday, and I will be live again on Thursday at same time. That's 11:30, and I will share the link in the in the group and on the Facebook as well, so you guys can find me on that. So if you have any queries, then I'm happy to take your questions. Yes. Anyone has any query, any questions, or you guys want me to take any other session, any suggestions from your side? If you feel something which is not clear to you, I can certainly take that session for you guys. Yes. You can message me. All right. Okay, so anyway, since you guys are clear with your concern, so you can text me later on in my WhatsApp group. Okay, so I got a question from Tina that this letter, if I wrote social and medical history in second para. So second para you can write that, but is that really relevant for a gynae doctor to know that about the social history? It's just a one line that she lives with her sons. There's nothing else to mention. That no need to mention that she's a swimmer, she's an active swimmer, she's a runner. No, that's not relevant. Okay, so it is not that you can't mention in a second paragraph. Of course, you can mention the past medical history as well. You can mention the social history as well. But you need to make sure that whatever I'm writing, is it really worth, or is it really relevant to the person who I'm writing? So rest of the social history, apart from just a line that she lives with her two sons, is not relevant for the doctor. And that's why I have not mentioned that. Okay. Otherwise, if something else which is important, then definitely you can write that. Okay, I hope I have given the answer to your question. So anyone else? Yes, any questions? Okay, all right. So thank you so much for attending the session. I know there was some disturbance, but still you guys stay here. So thank you so much. And see you on Thursday at 11:30. And I will share that link soon with you, everyone. All right. So till then, take care. Thank you so much, and have a good day. Bye-bye.